Cops over. I show you that playtime is over. I let the games begin, salute me soldier. Now I'm the captain, and all I do is win. Ball for ball, you know I'm the champion. I show you that playtime is over. I let the games begin, salute me soldier. Now I'm the captain, and all I do is win. Ball for ball, you know I'm the champion. We are here, Monday night, bonus clip. My guy, Tabinstereo. Tab, let me pay these bills and get this out the way, and we're going to get this moving.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, tune in to 2M1L Media on YouTube. Go click that like, subscribe, whatever it is that you kids do. Go ring the bell, whatever. Come January 1st, we will be streaming exclusively on YouTube. I'll put the links on my Facebook, but we're going to be on YouTube from then on out. Secondly, the sponsor of tonight's show, Mom and Pop CBD and Wellness Shop. When it comes to natural relief, turn to Dr. Brown's CBD. Dr. Brown's uses the latest scientific knowledge and experienced professionals to create top-of-the-line CBD products at affordable prices. Hey, check this out. We did a little giveaway the night before Thanksgiving. I need you guys to go and claim your prizes. I don't have the list in front of me of everybody who won. I know my brother reached out to you guys. If you guys can go ahead and go over to 312 Town Center Boulevard in Easton, PA. Go pick up your prizes, man. There's a lot of free money over there waiting for y'all. Tune in, and if you subscribe, well, I'm all over the place. I'm excited for this show, damn it. So if you tune in to 2M1L, you're not going to just find Spittin with Spitter. You're going to find Around the Turnbuckle with the Big Albowski and Professor Keith Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. You're going to find Cypher Knowledge with Christy Sunday nights at 8 p.m. You're going to find Home Team Sports Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. I just told my man Tabs I want to give him that Michael Jordan fourth quarter game 6 intro. And now, my guy Tabs, what's going on, my brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Yo, it is a complete blessing, and I'm humbled that you would even take the time out. I know how busy you are to be on the show, man. I appreciate that to the utmost.
Wow, thank you for having me, bro. Just
go ahead.
I said just coming back from like an awesome reset weekend here, and just like this is the first thing I did. So it's
we're gonna get into the awesome reset. I love it. You are a producer, singer, songwriter, and instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm.
Jack of all trades. Out of New Jersey. Your first release was with your first major release was with DJ Tiesto Club. DJ Tiesto's Club Volume 3. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I guess that would be it. Yeah, commercially, yeah. So I had written a bunch of acoustic songs because I wasn't a house artist, I fuck with some deep house stuff. But my buddy Kevin was like, "You got like really good songs here, like the skeletons of songs. If you would consider not even re-singing them, restructuring them, send me the acapella, whatever." So these were all just me with a guitar, not thinking that. The next time I heard it, DJ Tiesto was playing it at the Staples Center in front of like an entire crowd as like a house song, and I was like, well, I guess my boy was right. Shit. And then that wound up going on the album, and that was a crazy little run there of just I wasn't trying to be a house artist, so we kind of like continued to build in different directions from there. But it was a cool little run for a couple months to a year. That's
dope. And for those that don't know, man, Tabinstereo give it to you in all genres. Pause. Like when I tell you I had his latest release with Nemesis on repeat, the entire album, did not skip one song on repeat for like 3 days straight.
Thank you.
It's that it's that good. We're gonna get to that later though. You have several. Can we talk about the several TV show placements that you have?
Yeah, that's kind of a similar thing. I've worked on again with my buddy Kevin. Um, Real World, Road Rules, Kardashians, Bad Girls Club, I Am Kate. I don't even know the names of all these. I don't watch any of these shows.
Yo, right? I, I don't
But
want. I try not to watch any shit.
those kind of shows, we just recently got a really dope documentary, this Australian one, which
Mm-hmm.
just picked up whatever kind of big award is in Australia. So we're kind of getting into more of the stuff we want to get into. I'd love to get into video games and movie soundtracks and stuff where you can really just create a vibe and stretch that music out for more than the 2-3 minute song structure that you usually do if you're doing a hip hop instrumental or something like that. Like you could do like 5-10 minutes of really building tension or whatever the feeling would be for that scene. I'm trying to
Yes.
get more into that, which is, just
It'll
yeah.
definitely come. We just talked it into existence. Like, but that's what I said to you. I immediately, when I listened to the whole album, you had sent me the whole album. Yeah, it's funny. You and Nemesis sent me the whole album at the same time.
Mhm.
And the whole album is a whole vibe, bro. And I hate talking like the young kids. I'm not a young kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it is really a whole vibe. If you need to be put into a nice, relaxing, uppity mood, man, that is the serenades
Yeah.
and Morse code, boy.
So it's weird. We had a lot of people give that same like reaction to it. Like my boy Paulie, who did a lot of the extra production and live drums, live percussion. He works with a lot of young kids that listen to strictly trap. Like they wouldn't even consider like, I don't know. I don't know what the type of music I make is technically called, but like I grew up and came up like Wu-Tang, boom bap 90s kid. Portishead, like that kind of shit was like my big influence. So I consider myself coming from that like lane. I don't really know where else it goes, which it does go
Right.
other places, but like I consider myself coming from there. So I know it's like kind of an old school hip hop approach. But like he was like, yeah, these young kids were like, yo, it's the most like chill, relaxing, smoke a blunt and like put your headphones. It's like headphone nighttime chill music. And as
Yep.
different as all the genres are, I feel like the whole thing has a sound though. Like even if it's some shit's deep house, some shit's like trip hop, reggae, I don't know, whatever. There's a bunch of different things in there, but it has like a cohesive vibe to the whole project, I feel like.
You could. I would gamble to say you could make it one track and just let the whole album play, and
Yeah.
it's really like that. Like I was, you know, I'm a real tough critic. I mean, I've heard a bunch of stuff that you've done, and you don't take any tracks off, you don't take any bars off. But I was thoroughly impressed with how cohesive the album was. That was a big, because sometimes you hear an album and there's like 3 or 4 songs on, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not the case with this one. That shit is fire. But we're gonna get back to that. We're jumping all over the place. I'm all right with that because I'm wound up a little bit. I just got off work. You had a nice
Yeah.
relaxing weekend.
Yeah,
So,
I'm wound up.
to where you was out in the woods creating.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your experience with nature?
Yeah, it's something that we do. We call it a tribe weekend. Escapism. Me, Ark, Taboo, Jade. We like to have weekend retreats. We call them, and there's no TV, no smartphones. It's just nature, music, and jamming on the spot. We bring all our music equipment. I bring my camera, and you know what? Sometimes we record everything. Sometimes we record nothing. It's never. It's whatever's in the cards. We don't have come out there with like we have to get an album done, but we do wind up coming out with really cool shit, and that's how we make a lot of these albums is the groundwork, the the skeletons, the structure of these songs is all created on the fly in these like 4 or 5 hour jams that we do at a time, all like not tracked out, but everybody's on a different track. So if it's like that
Mhm.
bass line's dope, but the drums don't match, like we just go back and sample ourselves. Really, that's like kind of the process of how we make these escapism albums. So these retreats are important not only to reset us, especially in this crazy time in this year, mentally,
Mhm.
spiritually, just even socially, because it's just fucking weird now. We don't get to go to the bar and like hang out like we used to. It's a weird time.
Is different. You can't like
Yeah.
even if you wanted to let off steam, like you're
Yeah.
basically not allowed unless you do that shit in the privacy of your own home.
Hmm.
You know, and so so let me ask, because you said spiritually. So what's your spiritual journey like with these trips to the woods and how you know become one with nature and release all the toxins?
I mean, I'm a firm believer in plant-based medicines.
Okay.
I think using them in a responsible, controlled way, and doing it with a intention, mindset, proper setting, right people around you that you trust and love, and you're all going on this ride with a purpose, with trying to figure out a little bit more than you knew going into it, and coming out a little bit better than you did going into it,
I
and
love
just
it.
knowing that we got each other's backs. It's like it's like it's an indescribable thing, because then it's like, oh, okay, now Monday or Tuesday comes along, we have these crazy, magical, fucking spiritually life changing experiences, and then you go into work the next day, and they're like, oh, how was it? And I was like, meh, it was
Yeah,
good. And like,
fun
I
time.
mean, that's basically all you can say about it, because it's just
Right.
like it's not something that you like openly talk about with everyone, or
Right.
it's a if you know you know kind of thing of just.
Facts.
And I don't know, I just feel like you get a big information download in that kind of state, especially musically, like going playing guitar, playing drums, doing anything like that live with other people that are musicians who are also riding that same wave, and getting into those pockets and going like, these are 2 3 hour jams that are just like shit's wild when it's over with. Yeah, like goddamn. But it's, I wouldn't, I mean, that's a spirituality to me. I think like music in itself is the
It
practice.
it's there's something so organic about feeding off of having a group of people and creatively feeding off of each other's spirit musically.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know.
And it doesn't even have to all be created for we're going to use it for the next big TV show or movie. It's not even about that. It's just about finding the zone or the vibe that of the place you're in. That's why we always try to find like these cool hole in the wall spots that are just have this like new energy, new space of something you haven't been around before, just to
Right.
break that cycle, especially this year of just like, what day is it? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Working from home and doing shit, you're like, I don't even know what fucking day it is right now. And just to
How,
break out of that monotony and try to continue to flourish and create in the one way that we know how to still maintain control of, which is creatively.
right. How has this COVID affected you as far as all areas of your life, whether it be musically or just personally?
um I feel like I lucked out because me and my girlfriend have been able to continue to have an income the same as when it before it happened,
Right.
because we were both kind of working remotely anyway, so it wasn't like a big thing. I'm a graphic designer, photographer, videographer, and then the music shit, like everything I do kind of, I do it on a laptop or with a thing. I don't really have to go into an office and be in a space. so I can do it from home or whatever. So it wasn't like a hugely impact there. I mean, we got into it before. I lost my grandfather to this, who was in a nursing home. He was 98. I mean, it wasn't like a huge surprise, but it's still, I mean, I was saying we had to do the funeral service was on Zoom. I mean, that's fucked up. He was a World War II veteran and shit. It just was like to live that long, that and then to have that, just like it seemed very unfair.
Didn't receive the proper send off.
Yeah, and we still haven't even been able to like make that right yet, because it's just everything's still kind of crazy. So
every week there's a new restriction.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. My feelings changed. I started off being like super paranoid about it. Like I said, we were wipe the groceries down, fucking do everything. We're not going out. I was weird about even getting food delivered. Flash to like now I go out to eat.
Right.
We were sitting outside. I went to the beach all summer. I don't know. It's just I go to work 2 to 3 times out of the week. I go to my studio with a bandana on. I don't know. I don't think that really does anything. It's just weird. It's all strange. So going into this, I was like starting a lot of new things. Like we're looking for a new place to live. I was starting a new job. I'm doing a lot of new music ventures and shit like this. So, you know, the weirdness of starting all these new things on top of just the world being kind of upside down. It's just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck is what anymore, but we're just trying to make it work.
Yeah, you know, there's no how-to manual to live like this. You know what I mean? Like, but listen, I'm segueing off of that shit because we could stay there and keep it real melancholy all night, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We got much better uplifting shit to talk about. You have now? Do you have tracks with Method Man and Ghostface Killer? Is this correct?
Yeah, I have one track with both of them, and it's a weed song.
That's just like fire, Tabs.
That's a check off the bucket list there for sure.
How'd that come about?
So again, my friend Kevin that I do a lot of the TV music with, he knows a guy named Anthony Acid who records Ghostface and a lot of the Wu-Tang guys. And I was doing some stuff for him. Like I'd bring my guitar and I'd play some stuff. He'd chop it up and make beats out of it or whatever. So then one time he was just like, don't tell Tab, but like stop by my house on the way home, because we were at another studio in Staten Island at the time.
Right.
So then I just showed up and it was just like Ghostface at the door, and that's like my favorite rapper of all time. So it's just, for me, I was just like, oh shit. All right. So he like surprised me with that. I wound up playing them a couple beats. They had something that was sampled that they couldn't get cleared. So I wound up replaying all the samples and drums and all that stuff live, because we got the, you know, studio and the setup to replay all that shit and make it sound like the original sample.
Right.
So that worked for the beat. And my boy Kevin was like, yeah, just throw a hook on it. Fuck it. I bet they take it. So I just did. And it worked out. And I was just like, no shit.
Here we are.
So yeah, the song's called Smoke Like We Do.
Is that on YouTube or on all streaming platforms? Can we find it?
Yeah, I think it's on a dude called Hands On.
Oh yeah. That's like
HANZON. Yeah, it's Method Man's dude. It's on his album. The album's called Barca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We had I got invited out to Staten Island to do a show, and I believe there was a bunch of people there. A bunch of the Dead Rabbits were there, and Hands On, I believe, was in the building for whatever reason. I vaguely remember meeting him. So as soon as you said the name, it rang a bell. I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. No, I never met him personally, but that's it wound up on his album. I guess it was his original beat or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that
Who?
was I was souped. I was souped about that one.
Oh man, what? A funny story. We were kids. I'm talking 13, 14. There was a bunch of us that ran around calling each other the Junior Woo.
Oh yeah,
Like,
me too.
oh,
Yeah, the
everybody. I think everybody that grew up in that time period. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you listen to the
especially
Wu
on the East Coast, the Pillage was one of my favorite albums ever.
Tang.
Um, fucking Ghost is my favorite. I'd go Ghost, Meth, Raekwon.
Really?
Yeah,
I
my
go. I
top three,
go.
and then
I go.
Capadonna maybe.
Yeah. I go.
Yeah.
I go. Meth. I go. Meth. Ghost. Ray.
Okay. Yeah,
You know.
we're about the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um. What now? Who? You know, your work ethic is crazy, right? Because just not too long ago, you released Escapism Project with Taboo.
Nemesis did all those beats too.
Yo, Nemesis, where are you? I know you're listening. I know you're at. If I say your name 3 times, you're gonna pop up like the Candyman, Nemesis. Don't make me say your government on here because I will. Chrissy Rich is chiming in. She's the one that has Cypher Knowledge with Chrissy on Sunday nights. Fam, what up, Chris? Um, what's it? What? Okay, first we're gonna start with what's it like working with Nemesis.
He's nonstop. I had
Yeah,
he's nonstop. I mean, he'll be like, what are you feeling? What are you listening to? Like, what kind of vibes are you? Because I listen to all kinds of crazy shit as jazz. Go ahead, go. Oh, there he
I
is.
didn't mean to stop you, but
No.
I had to point out. I said his name 3 times,
No.
and here he is.
So
Yeah, Nam, we talking about you, Nam.
I listen to all kinds of shit. I'll send them something, and then
Right.
an hour or two later, I get something back like better than the shit that I sent him, and I'm like, all right. So we had so much shit that I was just like, man, I think like 15 songs is good, man. I think that's good. We could do another one, but like I think 15 is good. So
Right.
that's like literally the only reason we stopped, because it was just like, let's just cap it here and start another album, because it's just he's just got an endless flow, and I think it's just working with kind of like what I was saying about going out and resetting your environment or whatever, working with different people, working with new people. And with this album, we were trying to do different sounds on purpose, like push each other to like do a deep house song, I don't even know what the gimmick song would be. It's like a kind of pop rock song. I don't know. But like just to push boundaries of like what's what and put it all under one umbrella, which I never did before. I'd always just do like, oh, this is like a reggae album. This is a acoustic album. This one's trip hop instrumental. Like I never tried to mix it all up before. And now
You
we're
know,
just throwing it all together.
and the album came out beautifully, and I'm glad you brought up gimmick because normally that wouldn't be my cup of tea. That's my favorite. That's been on repeat for since I heard it. Y'all did this amazing rollout where y'all dropped a new song for the album every week until the album released with some
Yeah.
visuals to go with it. And gimmick was the one that stuck out for me.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Nemesis just chimed in. He said, I think we got another 12 joints started for the next 2 projects.
Yeah, we really do.
Y'all are some damn machines, bro. Jeez.
I mean, we just it works. It works out well. I learned my role now is more the guy that puts the pieces together, where I used to be the guy that like plays all the shit, but I don't feel like I have to be that person anymore. I taught my boy Ark, like, not I taught him everything, but like I taught him like how to play drums and like the significance of doing shit live, and he taught himself really how to become the monster that he is now. So he sends me all the live shit. Nemesis sends me his stems, and I'm just kind of the guy that just like puts the pieces together and formats it into a song, and then writes a melody, and then it's easy to keep it moving from there, because I don't have to. I used to do all that shit myself and then try to do it, and it used to take me forever, because I'm like, I got to come up with a bass line and then play guitar and format that and then This is more so just coming up with a vocal line and a melody, and then the lyrics kind of come easy for the
What
most part.
what that formula seems to be working for y'all
Yeah,
something well. So you know what I
we've
mean?
the last two albums we've done it that way, and it's been going good. Like
That
both of which we made in like a month and a half each album.
that's fire. So the name of the album is Serenades and Morse Code,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on all streaming platforms.
Yep. Tabinstereo and Nem Nieves. I believe that's
Yeah.
how you say it. Nem
Hold
Nieves.
on. That's my brother Alan's chiming in. What up, family? My brother, my big brother. I love you to the max, bro. Dave just chimed in and said Tab is the Rick Rubin of this. Those are some big ass shoes to fill, Tab.
Yeah, I'm honored by even the mention of that. I mean, if I had to be like anybody, I would choose that.
Rick Rubin's so dope. So dope. Wow, he's a monster. I remember out of the blue, I caught the interview he did with Andre 3000.
Oh yeah, I listened to
And
that
I'm
too.
like, of all people, of all the two people that you wouldn't think of ever sitting down doing an interview, here they are.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you the creative genius.
I love Andre 3000.
Oh,
I met him
absolutely.
on prom night actually in a McDonald's
Really?
in Manhattan. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. We took our limo. We like had to kill time in the limo. Took it to a McDonald's. Everybody got out in their like finest gear, and fucking Andre 3000's online and took a picture with all of us. He was cool as hell.
That's dope. That's dope.
But
What I want to know, aside from these nature weekends to get the creative juices flowing, what motivates you and what keeps you so focused on your craft?
I think it's a necessary thing. I think it's like scrapbooking. I think it's like keeping a journal.
Okay.
Because when I look back at it, I see what period of life I was in, depending on what the album was. Like we were having this conversation over the weekend. I did an album called Artist, which was kind of like when I was really getting fed up with like trying to be a full blown, just like all I'm gonna be is a hip hop indie artist,
Right.
and I'm gonna do strictly music. And like that whole album, the narrative of the album is about the downfalls and pitfalls of putting all your eggs in one basket and doing da 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 da. But I try to do that with every release and every album. So when I check back in, I'm like, oh, that's where my head was at in 2017, or that's where I was at in 2018. Like it is like scrapbooking or keeping a journal of your like really most intimate experiences. I mean, if you could dress it up in metaphors and flowery language and all that, but it's still, it's still like an intimate portrayal of whatever's happening in your life at that moment. And I try to keep it that way without, blatantly saying everything outright. But, when I go back and listen to it, you can track the progress and see how you've grown and what's changed and all of that. And I think I would do it either way, whether people listen to it or not. It would be a way for me to just trace that growth chart.
I got James. This is another one of my guys who is a phenomenal musician, an amazing lyricist. Would like to know, what platform can we find your music?
Spotify, Apple Music, Tabinstereo as one word.
James,
YouTube,
I promise you won't be disappointed. So do you go back and listen to because I'm like the worst critic to myself ever. Do you go back to your old stuff and you're like, oh God, why did I do this?
It depends how old.
Okay.
The old stuff, yeah, I'm like, oh my God. Like there's some stuff from like 2009 I don't think I could listen to.
Yeah.
The more recent stuff, I'm kind of at peace with myself now, but the early stuff, not so much. There's a lot of angry rap in the beginning there.
I had every now and then I like to take a walk down memory lane, and I listen to some shit that I did, and literally shit that I did in like 2007 and 8. I'm like, oh, and I was saying to Jackie, my wife, I said, why didn't you take me aside and say something? Like, you couldn't have thought this was good. Like, but here we are.
Yeah, luckily, so. Oh, awesome.
James said you're gonna get right on it, but go ahead. You saying luckily?
No, I said luckily social media wasn't as big of a thing back then, so
For
a lot of
all
those tracks
aspects,
haven't seen the light of day.
for
I mean,
all
I don't know. Maybe they're not that bad, but I just can't listen to them. Some of my shit is just I don't know.
It's funny. Like my daughter, she inspires me so much. She plays guitar, she sings. She's a way doper rapper than I am, and she'll go back and listen to all my old shit, and she loves it. I'm like, no, there's so much better shit.
Do you have like musicians in your family, your parents and stuff?
You know what? Not to get into a long story, but I have no idea who my father is.
Oh, okay.
I would assume he's got to be some sort of musically inclined. You know?
Yeah. Because she's playing guitar and doing all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I can't do any. I could tap a beat real good. Like I could string a little bit, but like the other day I walked in the house and she was going nuts. And I'm like, jeez. And she's 18 and like,
that's awesome.
Dove into music. Like incredible singer.
Did she take lessons or no?
No.
Even better. Yeah. See,
she took some vocal lessons back in the day, but that hasn't been for years. But musically, no, she has never taken. And she
I can't read any kind of music. I'm all guitar. I'm self-taught.
That's dope.
Bass and piano, self-taught. Drums, I played early on from like age 5 on. I played drums. That's how I started. And then that's why I took to making beats so early on, because the breakbeat already made sense to me. I already knew how to do that like physically. So
right. We're gonna see. I like how we're segueing a little bit, but I'm gonna keep bringing it back to you, Tad.
Okay.
Where'd you come up with the title Serenade in Morse Code? What is it like? That's creative. You know what I mean? That's not just a run of the mill title.
So this album I kind of made sense of as I was writing it.
Okay.
I want to say, but it was a title that I had as an option for the Escapism album.
Right.
Before we called it what we wound up calling it. But it was just a cool title because I feel like the way that I write specifically is like very layered. There's 3 to 4 layers of meaning. There's a very personal meaning to me. There's something that could branch out and mean something to other people. And that's why I don't like having like a right or wrong answer as far as what these songs are about or what I'm talking about, because it can mean a variety of different things, and it kind of does intentionally. So it's kind of in a code. And the Serenades thing just basically messing around with all these different genres of music. Like it's a lot more singing than any hip hop album before that I've done. So I was like, I just felt it fit, and it was it has like a science fiction kind of feel to it too. I feel like the sound.
Yes, man, that's a good description because I couldn't put my finger on it. To be like, what's it sound like?
Like an 8-bit 80s like science fiction kind of vibe, but the drums are more futuristic. It was like an intentional thing we did without really speaking about it. It was just off of like example songs, and once we had a couple, we just were up and rolling. The
fact that like you and Nemesis really showed your level of versatility with this. 2 things. None of the songs sound the same. They're all different sounds. And I've heard several projects from them, and I've heard a couple projects from you, and none of your projects previously sound like this project.
No. So I try to always do something a little different, just because what's the point of making the same song for years after years after years? Like once you do it, like find what worked there and then build on that and switch it up a little bit.
Absolutely. Nev's just chimed in and says Sacred actually set the tone of the album.
That was going to be the first track on the album.
Okay. That's fire.
We were originally just going for like a lo-fi kind of feel, like that chilled cow, rainy night, piano, lo-fi loop kind of sound that Sacred song actually is.
Right.
And then I don't know, somehow we started making deep house and reggae joints, and it kind of worked. So we were like, fuck it.
And you know, I must have said 4 times now that shit was amazing. But I got some questions for you. It wouldn't be Spittin' with Spitter if I didn't have some questions.
Sure.
Who is the dopest artist you've ever worked with?
I got to think for a second.
We don't want to offend any of your political connects.
Well, I'll say this. The dopest artist I've ever worked with is my godmother. Sounds like a cop-out answer, but my godmother, Aunt Margie, who we just went to her 90th birthday party.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what condition she was going to be in. I wasn't sure if I should even go because of fucking everything going on. And my parents were like, well, you know, who knows, like, when you're going to see her again, da-da-da-da. So I'm like telling my girlfriend when we get there, like, oh, I don't know what to expect. Now, I know her. My mom was a church organist, came up playing, and she was the singer, like opera singer. This is my godmother growing up. I haven't seen her in the last 10, 15 years. But she came in fucking heels and like this whole fucking big gown, like and danced her ass off until they kicked her out at fucking 90. Still singing her ass off. And I grew up like playing drums in church with her and like have sampled. She's on actual vinyl with the church, and I've sampled her singing. So I mean, that would be the dopest person in my personal like canon that I worked with, without shitting on any you know
right
people.
That's
but yeah
fine. What's next for you, bro? Because I know the creative juices though. Nemesis just said y'all got 17 albums lined up.
Yeah, well, I'm in the process of hopefully moving in the next couple months or a month or two, and want to build a whole new setup, which is going to mean a whole new sound. Like once you change the environment, the whole sound changes anyway. I got a little EP with a friend of mine that has like a reggae feel. He sent me a bunch of stuff. We want to do New Escapism next year. I want to do another album with Nemesis, and I want to actually create my own publishing company and actually like try to do my business right, because that's something I've like not slacked on, but like haven't really cared about too much. And now it's like, all right, well, now we can write shit off on taxes and like build stuff and work together. And you know, there's a lot of people involved that want to be doing more than what we're doing right now. So I want to like try and find a way to make that a little bit more legit for everybody.
No.
So that's the next couple steps.
What's you know, we were talking about fitness before the show started, right? What's in your playlist, whether you're working out or
my shit's so weird.
Yeah, right. Mine too. And that's like whenever I come across somebody that's creative, I always ask, like, what's in your playlist? Like, I want to know, because my playlist is real ADD, out of control.
Working out, it's usually I like the Afro shit, the African dance. I like fucking hold on. I'll tell you. Yeah. Afro party anthems. Burna Boy is a big one.
Oh, Burna Boy is he is
He's
so dope to me, and nobody even really know about him like that, yo. Oh my god.
That's the kind of shit I work out to. I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah.
I play that in the park and people are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy, but
I was in the gym the other day and I was I can't sing to save my life, but I swear to God, when my headphones are in, I can sing. And I'm singing Burna Boy, and like two different people looked at me and I'm like curling, like just trying to hulk out anyway while singing this, and people just looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, yo, you have no idea how dope this guy is.
You have Spotify?
Yeah.
What was your top songs? Did you check?
I did not. I refused to do that, but I can tell you, Sue Surf. I'm a Jersey kid, so Sue Surf. I listen to a lot this year. A lot of Sue Surf, a lot of Mozzie, a lot of Kevin Gates, and then a large variety of classic rock.
Okay.
And a large variety of dancehall and reggae.
Let's see if I could give you my top here. All right. I got Pulling the Pin by Run the Jewels. That's my number one.
Killer Mike is a monster.
Yeah. White Gloves by Crowbin, or however you say their name, that instrumental trip hop guys. And then Anybody, Burna Boy, number 3. See?
Okay.
Good News, Mac Miller.
Okay.
And then the other ones you probably wouldn't. Sunny by Big Pig.
Never heard of it.
The River Bend by Subculture. Eternal Light by Free Nationals.
Okay.
That's Anderson .Paak's band. They're pretty dope.
Hey, yo.
I listen to all kinds of weird shit as well. Like my top 10 is like shit most people are like, I don't know what that is.
Anderson .Paak is another one that is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking beast. He can rap and play drums at the same time. That's insane.
I was listening to like my playlist, and you know how like if you don't program it, it just plays something that you like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the song with him and Corday.
I don't know if I heard that one.
It's so like old school but new school at the same time, and they're going back and forth and rapping and singing. It's fire. I'm gonna send you the link after we're done, just so you could hear it.
All right, cool.
Anderson .Paak is phenomenal.
The one on the Busta album's crazy too.
Yeah. Oh man, what'd you think of the new Busta album?
I love it.
Same. Busta. I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know
I wish more people just did that. Like, just stick with what works. He didn't try to change up too much, but he had like it didn't sound dated or anything. Like it sounded like what he should be doing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, but before we get out of here, because I don't like the kid. Listen, we're in such an ADD era. I'm not gonna Joe Rogan you and keep you for 17 hours, 18 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Conversations drag and it's very not entertaining. Who are your top 5 lyricists of all time?
Do they have to be rappers or no?
No, not at all.
Okay. I'd go with Alex Turner from the Arctic Monkeys would be probably number 1. Bob Dylan would be number 2. Aesop Rock would be 3.
He's made a couple people's list on here.
I'll go Ghostface after that.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I like LP a lot too.
LP is tough, man. LP is real tough.
Yeah. Big Pun.
Yeah. I mean,
Capital
yeah.
Punishment is like one of my all-time favorite ones. Oh, yeah, I'd say Big Pun then. End it with Big Pun after Ghostface.
I'm not mad at that. Tabinstereo, Serenade and Morse Code out now on all streaming platforms. Produced by Nemesis. Go tune into it. I like to when I'm done with the show, I like to ask my guests, is there something that you want to ask me? Ours was just basically a conversation, but is there something you want to ask me before we get out of here? Put him on the spot.
No, not really.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I like getting let off the hook easy.
Nah.
I like getting let off the hook easy.
I was trying to think of a real tough one, but no.
Where can everybody find you as far as your socials and all that?
Tabinstereo at Tabinstereo on Instagram is probably the most active. I don't have Facebook anymore. I have a Twitter, but I don't really use it. And then Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, anything like that. Tabinstereo is one word. YouTube, same thing. You can find all the albums there. Videos are up on YouTube. I'm trying to do a lot more video content now that I got I got Premiere Pro and I got all that stuff up and running. So I'm trying to do a lot more video content with all the tracks too. So yeah, Tabinstereo, pretty much anywhere you could type it into.
Tab, again, I appreciate you to the utmost. It's a blessing having you on Spittin with Spitter. Thank you very much. We're gonna have to have you back. We're gonna have to have you back on. Me and Taboo was talking about it this morning. You two both coming on when the next project drops. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. With that, my guy, have a good night. Thank you.
Peace.
Have a good one, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Spittin with Spitter with Tabinstereo. We're gonna run these dudes out to finish off the night, man. The show was sponsored by Mom and Pop CBD and Wellness Shop. When it comes to natural relief, turning Dr. Brown's CBD. Dr. Brown CBD uses the latest knowledge and experienced professionals to create top-of-the-line CBD products at affordable prices. If you won the contest on the Thanksgiving Eve episode, take yourself over to 312 Town Center Boulevard. Go see Brett Brown over there. He knows who you are, and go pick up your winnings, man. Tune in to Home Team Sports tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, where they're going to be asking some more trivia questions, raffling off a jersey of your choice. Tune in to Cypher Knowledge Chrissy Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Tune in to Around the Turnbuckle Saturdays and Sundays, 6 and 8 p.m. with the Big Alboski Professor Keith. You can catch me right back here Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, with Anthony Duran. He's going to be on the show. We're going to talk some talks. With that, y'all, I want y'all to have a real good night, and you can catch us then.
Beer and delivery. You know that I'm nice, girl. Look what those did to me. Playtime's over. I show you that